to The Intelligent World is our second YouTube exclusive where we will be talking about some different types of movies. Our YouTube exclusive, the whole point is to do a little different spin, maybe not so serious of an episode, shorter time periods, and different people can kind of jump in and bring in their ideas. And so today's episode was actually produced by Marco and Matt, and I'm going to actually go ahead and let Marco run the show today. So, Marco, without further ado, here is your show.
All right, thank you. Sorry, my bad. I just have the timer ready, whatever.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna be talking about certain movies, and I'll let you all know what the movies are. So, first one is gonna be the movie Tag, which is a movie about a bunch of friends who basically, they meet up once a year on February, but in the movie they do it on May, and they meet up and they play a game of tag. And these guys have been doing this ever since back in high school for like 23 years. And in the movie, they decide to what they did is that they compressed the group of friends to about 5 people, and they had to all the characters were mixed around so that each character is a combination of the friends all together. It's a really great movie. It's hilarious. Then we're going to go into Crazy Rich Asians, which everyone knows what that movie is about because it was the largest Asian cast in Hollywood history, right?
Yeah. I think of that. Yeah, that's right.
It was a huge one.
It's also one
romance.
of the first.
Yeah, I think it was one of the first too.
It was. So it's about romance, and it's also got amazing comedy in it. So that's going to be really fun to talk about. Then we have
homie
Joker.
Ken Jeong.
Not Kim Jong, but
not Kim, Ken.
Gotcha.
Ken Jeong.
Sorry, I thought he
Dr.
said Kim
Ken.
Jong Un. I was just like
Dr. Ken.
Yeah. But then we got Joker, and that's with Joaquin Phoenix, who just destroyed that role. I mean, he dominated.
Absolutely.
The last good Joker was Heath Ledger, and Joaquin Phoenix coming in. I mean, he did a great job. Not doing what he did, but creating a new Joker for all of us to enjoy and fall in love with.
Right.
Then we're going to talk about the new Star Wars trilogy because we just have to. I mean, it's still fresh. There's still a lot of things that go into.
The wounds are fresh.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
true.
super fresh.
Keep
And
it fresh.
and Lucasfilms and everyone else who worked on it, they rubbed a lot of salt in those wounds for these last 3 movies, in my opinion.
That's one.
Then
way
we
of
got
opening it.
some Marvel, which is going to be Captain Marvel, Infinity War, Endgame, and Far From Home, because they all have a connection. But at the same time, I do have some questions about these movies and how, what goes where. Was this necessary? So without further ado, we're going to start with Tag. Now, who here has seen the movie Tag?
Tag. You can tag me because I've seen it.
All right.
Tag,
That
you're
was
it,
super
Daniel.
So Daniel,
Yeah, buddy.
Daniel, in the summary, it says 1 month every year, 5 highly competitive friends hit the ground running for a no-holds-barred game of tag, risking their necks, their jobs, and their relationships to take one another down. This time, the game coincides with the wedding of the only undefeated player. What should be an easy target soon becomes an all-out war, as he knows they're coming to get him. So we got a lot of well-known actors in this movie. We have
definitely.
Ed Helms. What was the guy who played Hawkeye in Marvel?
Oh my God.
Jeremy
Renner.
Renner.
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner. And then we have another guy. I should have.
Jason Bateman is in the movie, I think.
No way.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name, but he played Spider-Man in the animated Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
Him.
What's his name?
There was another guy too. Just a star-studded cast. I mean, really. So
I wish we knew the names of though.
I know we should have had that prepared, but really, I mean, I've seen it twice. That's how much I love that movie, and especially just the storyline behind it. Of it's really based on this true story of these guys for 23 years playing a game of tag. Honestly, I really love that you picked this movie. I didn't even know we were going to talk about it tonight, but I think it just reminds me so much of our group. And I think that's why I keep going back to watch it, because I think it's so cool how this group of friends from high school took this little game, and their mantra of what was it? It's like, you don't stop playing the game because you're old. Like you get old because you stop playing the game. Something like that. But I think that's just
I get that. I love
interesting. And just so telling, because I mean, look at us. We're a group that started in high school, that have this vision, and we're very different people in a lot of senses. I mean, especially when you think of there's 8 of us entirely in this group, some people that haven't even had the opportunity to come on the show as of yet. And we're planning on going for as long as we can. I mean, this is not just a year or 2 years, something like that. It's as long as we can. That's just so cool to me that we want to do that. And it's so cool that we can see something on the big screen that's a real life portrayal of something, you know, of that like longevity. It's so cool. And I kind of have high hopes for our group that we keep making content and producing stuff as long as they are.
I thought you were about to say I have high hopes for our group to go out and play tag. I'm like, you already know I'm down to play.
Honestly, like the
I
fact
would love
that this
to
is a
too.
true story and like these guys have been doing it for 23 years, I'm like, screw it. I mean, it's not original for us, but I don't see the harm in playing a game of tag once a month every year, you know?
And I know that with the people that we have in our group, that would, I mean, everyone would definitely be down.
Oh, for sure. I mean it's intense too because oh, sorry, go ahead, Chad, take it.
No, I was about to say, like, who doesn't love playing tag? Like that just like it's just one of those things where
that's what's great about this movie is like they actually hold on, where is it? The group of men had been playing the game for 23 years and it started in 1990, and they actually had a signed agreement called the participant agreement. And part of the rules was that, you know, one rule was there's no tag back. So if you get tagged within the month of February by one person, okay, you have to go tag someone else. Another rule was if you are it and someone asks you if you are it, you have to tell them. Another rule was also, what was it? If you, whoever is tagged and at the end of the month, they're it for the rest of the year. And if they hold that title for more than a year, then they become, it's like a shameful title to have. So this game gets really intense. And like for these guys in the 23 years.
So pretty much the longer you wait or the longer a person waits, then the worse their title will become, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, it's if you're it by the end of February and like you couldn't tag your opponent the next February and the next February after that, you just it's just you know you're it's the title of shame. You know, you're it for 3 years.
Right.
Know? But I mean, these guys, the movie, I did some research, and the movie is not exactly like the original story, because in the original story there's a total of like I think 9 guys, and in the movie there's only 5. And they basically just take the 9 original characters and they kind of squish them up together into these 5 roles. So, and it is exaggerated. There's all this like intense, you know, parkour, throwing a granny over you, which is disguised as one of the friends, you know. So it's they exaggerate it, but you know, Daniel, you would say it's still a great movie to watch.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not just, again, it's not just the storyline. It's not just like that I see something in it, and it's just absolutely entertaining, super funny movie with a lot of heart. So I mean, 10 out of 10 for me.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, easily.
10 out of 10 recommend, Daniel.
And we got a lot of movies to talk about right now. So do you want to set you want to rate it your one movie right now, or do you want to wait until the end?
I mean, I didn't know if you wanted to rate these movies or not, but I mean, I think for me, I would definitely rate it highly. And of course, when you really think about it, like the breakdown, and we don't have a definition of how we're going to break things down, but I think just if it was just going with my opinion, how I felt, I would definitely rate this movie just a very, very highly. Just again, a lot of heart, a lot of, I mean, again, an amazing true story, but also just the amount of funniness that occurs, right, with the star-studded cast. It's just, you know, it's unbeatable. And when it's just a one-off movie like that, it's unforgettable too. It's just like, that was pretty funny. I want to watch it again. So highly recommend that you guys watch it too. We might come up with some ideas for our group. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I actually like that idea. You know, we're just going to scrap my idea of all rating the movies against each other and just rate them on their own. So Daniel, you're going to give it a 10 out of 10. Because
I think I am. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but from what if Daniel's giving it a 10 out of 10, and like, you know, we all have like a good taste for movies, so that's why we're friends. Or else, you know, it'd be like, you know, one friend being that guy who likes to watch German films with subtitles, you know.
Hey,
but
you know, I do also like to do that.
I do that.
That's true.
I've never seen one before, and honestly, it's like it's you know, if the movie's not so famous over here, then maybe it doesn't appeal to a large audience, only a certain amount of audience, and you're part of that audience apparently.
Well, real quick, just I have to say this while we're on the topic of films, foreign films. there's a movie. I don't remember what it's called right now. I should have had this prepared too, but it's about the Stasi, and it's just an absolutely amazing movie, guys. Please go check it out if you have the chance to watch it. I don't remember what it's called, but just go look up German film about the Stasi, and you'll.
Way to leave him with that.
I
ringer.
know,
Yeah.
right? I'll try to look it up.
Go
while the
look
show
up that
continues.
movie. I don't know the
Find
name
it,
of it, but here you
I-
go.
Daniel,
I will look it up
find
and I'll have the
just
name
you
of it by
share
the
it
end of
with
the
us
show.
and
We
we'll
might
check
put it in the
out.
link in the description of this video. So
Well,
Sponsor us.
Yeah.
we'll roll with
For
it.
everyone
But
to.
Marco,
Yeah,
back
too.
to you.
Yeah. So, all right. So since I haven't seen it, and I know Chad and Matt haven't seen it, so Daniel's giving it a 10 out of 10. So that's a good. And I got to say, it's got to be a great movie.
I feel like I feel like after you said your opinion on this movie, I feel like I need to go see it.
I feel like
Well,
it's a
there you
great movie
go.
to watch with your friends. I mean, that's the whole point of it too. I feel like if we all got together, the movie would be 10 times more like entertaining to watch.
That's
Definitely.
true.
All right.
Yeah, movies
So-
are always better.
Yeah. So now we're gonna get into Crazy Rich Asians. And Crazy Rich Asians is like we said it before, it's the largest Asian cast. And it's about Rachel Chu. It's about a girl named Rachel Chu, and she is happy to accompany her longtime boyfriend Nick to his best friend's wedding in Singapore. She's also surprised to learn that Nick's family is extremely wealthy, and he's considered one of the country's most eligible bachelors. Thrust into the spotlight, Rachel must now contend with jealous socialites. I don't know how to say that word.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty
socialites.
sure that's
Yeah, socialites.
socialites. Cool. I need to do more reading. So jealous socialites and quirky relatives, and something far, far worse. Oh my God, I can't speak. Hold on, let me drink something. That's
And
water.
something far, far worse. Nick's disapproving mother. There
Thank
you
you,
go, Marco.
Daniel.
There we go.
Finish it.
Perfect.
Thank you. I guess I'm nervous being a host. I mean, so much pressure is on your shoulders.
Come on,
Yeah.
you're doing
Oh,
great.
the humanity.
Humanity, yeah. So that's basically a summary of the film, and I gotta say, I was kind of reluctant to see it because it is a rom-com, and I was single at the time, and I still am when the movie came out. So I was like, I don't want to watch this. It reminds me how single I am. But
Funny
Chad,
story
you're-
about this one. Oh, sorry, Matt.
Yeah,
Marco, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, Daniel, if you guys know, Daniel, jump in. Go ahead.
No, sorry. I just wanted to say, I think, funny enough, I am single as well, but
Aren't all of
know.
us except
And
for the
single and
guy
lonely.
up
No, no, no.
there?
and no, when this movie came out, actually, I want to go see it with
Yes,
Sandra,
you
one
shall.
of our good friends and one of the members of here. We were bored and we each want to go watch a movie, and she really wanted to watch that one, and I went with her, and it was surprisingly a really good movie, and I really liked it. And I don't think I would have gone to watch it would I have been with just myself or with one of you guys or something like that. So I'm really glad that she took me to go see that movie. It was really good.
It's better that way.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
So, Chad, you're currently in a relationship right now.
Yeah.
We all know that. So, a man who's in a relationship who has seen this movie,
What a
what
man.
does it get you thinking when you watch it?
Well, when I first saw it, I was single at the time as well. So, but I remember seeing the trailer right when it first came out, and I was like, oh, this is just gonna be like another rom-com movie, and maybe like a Hallmark kind of movie, like you said earlier. But I watched it, and I feel like I never really considered myself a rom-com fan, but I feel like the storyline in this movie is really funny. Like the comedy is there, the acting is fantastic, and another funny fact in this movie is that one of the actors made a shout out to Cal State Fullerton, and I was in my first year at Cal State Fullerton at the time, and so I remember I wanted to go see it just because like they said Cal State Fullerton in the movie, and so that just like I thought that was really funny to go see, and so that's what really kind of influenced me about watching this movie. But I feel like I really enjoyed it in the end after watching it, and it was really funny.
Did you when I saw the trailer for it, it gave me a feeling of like the Great Gatsby trailer with like the big lights, fireworks, just this huge, large, amount of like intensity in it. And it's like we said, largest Asian cast ever. Were you like, was it a bit of a culture shock being, because the movie takes place in Singapore in a very rich environment, and it's like, it looked like, oh my God, they look better than us in America. Like, what'd you think of that while watching the movie?
Right. So again, like you said, it was the largest Asian cast that was in a movie before. So I feel like that, like after watching that kind of like it was almost like it was a kind of a culture shock to me, not in a bad way, but it was just kind of like it surprised me that like countries like Singapore, like there are probably people that live in the way that the way the movie portrays it. So that's what kind of really kind of shocked me after watching it.
I do want to kind of jump in here, and I agree wholeheartedly. I think another reason why we kind of want to do this podcast is to broaden our own horizons. And I think that this movie won so many awards and was so, highly rated was because it kind of showed us how ignorant we can be at times, not just as Americans, but just as kind of people. We were so unaware, and we are so unaware of what other cultures are like and what other places are like. And I think a lot of times, especially as Americans, we kind of like to think of we're the only country that has opportunities for lavish lifestyles and wealth and all that stuff. And I mean, what an amazing movie to kind of show us on a completely different side of the world with the all Asian cast, some very funny people. And it was just, I hate that I keep saying this, but a lot of heart, but in the right way. So it wasn't just a rom-com that was like, at least for me, it was like another one. But it really was. It stood out to me, and I think I would watch it again just because of that, sense.
I feel like this movie is one of those movies that it keeps you on your toes throughout the entire film. So it's not like it's not like the common and like the climax and everything else that a normal rom-com usually has, but it's like basically twisted in a different way. But so that's why it kind of keeps you on your toes and it keeps you engaged while you're watching it.
That's good. That's what's like, if you watch a movie and you're just sitting there and you're like, what's coming next, you're able to tell what's the next move and like what's going to be the next scene. It's I'm not saying like everyone that happens in every movie, but like, that is common. There's a lot of foreshadow that's just completely obvious in some movies. And it's like, we all know how this is going to end. But like, you said that this movie, it continues to unfold like literally reading a book, you turn the page, you have to follow along or else it's just like, you won't understand things later on. So pardon me. So yeah, I mean, if you say that, it's that's what I look for in certain movies. It's like I'm looking for that. Basically, I don't want to know what's coming next. I really want to be surprised. I really want to be able to like, okay, I got to follow along, or else I'm going to miss it completely. So I mean, and so Daniel and Chad, you got you've seen it, and we're talking about it now. Is it something that you would like to watch again, or is it kind of like one of those like I'm glad I saw it once, but it's
yeah, so like jumping, I feel like I would be so excited if they actually came out with a second one or a sequel.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah,
really?
because I feel like I can't really remember exactly what happens at the very end because it came out about like 2-3 years ago. But I haven't watched it in a while. But I feel like the way that the movie was portrayed, I feel like it was really well. It went really well for me. So I feel like if they came out with another movie, then I would totally watch it.
It did really well in the box office, so I would not be surprised.
Oh yeah, it completely blew up. Everyone, it was all over Instagram.
It was one of the top highest grossing movies for a little bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. They did really well. And again, it was for the variety of reasons that we already covered. But I think, just in my perspective, I would definitely watch it again and even just here with the family or stuff like that, just because it does have rewatchability. And I just want to echo back to the fact, and I mean, this may or may not be a super controversial statement, but hopefully it's not. But what I'm saying is, it's not just a rom-com where it's so mushy. I think, at least in my opinion, it was something that it really was rewarding. And it, even though we were all single at the time, it has depth. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you this. There's so the author, the author's name is Kevin Kwan, and he makes a couple cameos, and from the research I did, he said when he was writing Crazy Rich Asians, because it's based off a series of 3 books. He was in a dark place, and what he would do when he would write this book was on his computer, he would leave a Post-it note that said joy. so it gave him a sense of motivation. And the fact that this book, these books became like this giant movie, you know, it just, everybody wanted it. Like all these streaming services, like for instance, Netflix actually tried to buy the rights to all three Crazy Rich Asians books in a bidding war, but Warner Bros. Ended up winning the rights. And very interestingly, is run by Kevin Shuchihara, I think I said that right, who is the first and only person of Asian descent to run a major Hollywood studio. So this movie really hits home for the Asian community. Like this is something of pride in a way. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely think so. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I mean, and the fact that it went to because it's in Warner, so it's owned by Warner Bros. And like his name Kevin Tsuchihara, you know, the first and only Asian descent to run a major Hollywood studio. It's like when I read about that, I was just like, wow. I mean, like the fact that they won, I feel like it was meant to be. It makes sense that he should, it should be in their care and all that. Like, you know, I feel like that's why they won. It's like, no, like it was, his name is so complicated.
Fujihara, I think is how you. Yeah, I think you were pronouncing it fine. Yeah,
I know, but I have to read it when I say it. But like, Sujihara, you know, I feel like when it came to the bidding war, it's like he had to have it when they were going for it, or else it'd be like, you know, it's kind of. I bet it really hit home for them, especially.
Oh yeah, I would definitely agree.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so we finished that. Oh, how would we rate that? Is it compared to other rom-coms? Would you say like that's a really big one? Like that's
9.5 out of 10.
Honestly, yeah. I'm gonna be with Matt. I'm gonna agree with that. Like 9.5 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 9.
Okay, so what's missing? Why do we put it at 9.5?
I just wish I wanted. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of jokes in there, but I just want more jokes. I mean, coming from me, who is a huge comedy person, you know, my life has been surrounded by comedy. They had such a good lineup of, you know, they had a few comedians in there. They had, you know, so much potential, and they used it to the best that they could. I just wish that there was a little more jokes that, you know, I mean, they had if you ask me, there was a perfect amount in there. Like, you know, had there been anything less, I would have been a little concerned, but it was perfect. It was perfect that the way that they did it and the way that it was executed, it was perfect. But for me, as a comedy person who's grown up around comedy and stuff, I don't know, maybe it's just a personal opinion. I would have loved a few more jokes in there, you know, because you know all the different jokes that they could have done and, you know, the fun stuff. I mean, they had if you ask me, one of the most highly skilled actors out there, Ken
So
Jeong.
funny. Oh, I already
love
knew
that
you were
guy.
gonna talk about him.
He is the
so funny.
funniest guy.
Yeah,
I follow this guy on Twitter and Instagram, or I think he has Twitter still. I don't know.
He's a doctor. Like he's a
he's a
certified
certified doctor.
And like
if you watch his Netflix show, he talks about how he left Kaiser to do a movie, worked at Kaiser while doing a movie. You know, I can't say the name of the movie right now because it's not the most appropriate movie for this podcast right now. We'll get in that to another day if I can ever convince our lead host here to let me talk about that movie.
Wait, wasn't it The Hangover?
Starts with an A. Yeah, okay.
Hangover.
Yep,
Yeah.
that one.
yeah, it's not a bad. I mean, it's the title of a movie. You know, it's not like you're having a
Kids
hangover.
don't watch that alone. Do not
No.
watch that
No.
alone.
I haven't seen it, but I know it's definitely rated.
I didn't see the first one. I saw
Yeah.
the second one, and that second one like scarred me for
You
life.
can't. You
Wow.
have to watch the.
And
first
how old were
one.
you when you watched it, Marco?
I think I was like 13.
Dude, those
14.
movies are the best.
When did that movie?
mean,
They were. I mean, that's
And
a
they
different.
still
That's
are
a
the
different
best.
topic.
like I
was
watched
not-
them. I watched them with my family. I watched them a few months ago, and every time Ken came on the screen, my whole family just burst out laughing. And that's why I'm so glad he was in that movie. But anyway, let's actually change it into our next movie, shall we?
Yeah.
That's a great
So
idea.
next,
There we
What
go.
is the next movie on your list?
Next movie is a big laugh, but also a teardropper. It's got a lot of symbolism. And the movie is starring Joaquin Phoenix. We all know what this is. It's going to be Joker.
Hmm.
And it's I haven't seen this movie. I know I probably should have done it a long time ago, but
Come
pandemic
on.
and streaming services, it's one that I've got to see and I really want to. And it's basically Forever Alone in the Crowd. Failed comedian Arthur Fleck seeks connection as he walks the streets of Gotham City. Arthur wears two masks. The one he paints for his day job as a clown, and the guys he projects in a futile attempt to feel like he's part of the world around him, isolated, bullied, and disregarded by society. Fleck, Jesus Christ, where are my glasses? There they are. Maybe that's why. Here we go. Fleck begins a slow descent into madness as he transforms into the criminal mastermind known as the Joker. Now, a lot of people, there was criticism of this movie, seeing that when Heath Ledger had passed away, it was like you couldn't replace the Joker. You couldn't make a new Joker, and they did replace the Joker in Batman and the what was that movie called with Harley Quinn and the other guys?
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got to get his name because
It's Jared Leto. It's Jared Leto.
Jared Leto. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. So Jared Leto got a lot of
Backlash
smack about his backlash. Thank you for his Joker character. So creating a Joker movie, it's kind of nerve wracking, especially for Joaquin Phoenix. He's coming in as the new Joker. Jared Leto got a lot of backlash. How is he going to get the repercussions? So in your guys' opinion, do you thought I'm going to say it, like, I haven't seen the movie, but I think it looks great. Would you guys say it is a good movie and Joaquin Phoenix made it very well? Very good.
I'll let these two answer first because I can give you a 5-minute description about this. I mean, that might be a topic for another show, but
So I have to be completely honest to say that I have not had the opportunity to watch the movie, but it's been on my list since day one that I've been really wanting to watch this one. I've seen a lot of interviews with Joaquin Phoenix and just like little docu things about the movie, and I have to say, I am super intrigued by this movie, and especially the fact, as you have here in your notes, which I've already knew, which is awesome, that he really delved into the pathological patients in order to build his character scheme. And that is commitment to the character, which we know the actor Joaquin Phoenix tends to do. But not only that, I mean, it's just how they were really digging in to make sure that this character was perfect in the emotional and psychological side of the Joker. That is by far the most interesting thing to me, and why I want to watch the movie.
yeah.
Didn't this movie it came out recently, like maybe like 2 years ago?
Last year, no?
Last year?
I think way before pandemic. That is for sure.
Mhm.
But it was, I have a lot of respect for Joaquin Phoenix. He's a very amazing actor. He starred in many films, and like in this film, he went into a lot of like grueling diet, and he lost like 52 pounds. And honestly, it was a little bit seeing him in the movie, and like because there is a shirtless scene, and it's like, whoa, Joaquin. And then when he receives the award for the movie, he gained that weight back. He got back to his natural healthy weight style. So it's like, method acting is like a very, some actors take it really seriously. It's like Christian Bale. He went serious.
Oh, yeah.
In his method acting.
Yeah.
I think it blows my mind that actors will go so far into getting themselves into the character that they are supposed to play.
I have respect for them for that. Like that's like, if you go really deep into the method acting, okay, respect. You're going over the line, whether it's your health and all that, and it's just like they're trying to give the best performance they can. So I mean, 100% for Joaquin Phoenix. It got a lot of reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. Matt, like, would you say that like Joaquin Phoenix as this Joker can really live up to Heath Ledger?
I would say yes. I mean, the problem with that is that, sorry, you can probably hear a lot of background noise right now. The problem with the Joker is it's such a hard character to play because theoretically in the whole comic books, there is no origin story for the Joker. Like, no one really knows how the character came into the comics. I mean, there's a bunch of different theories about how one of the writers just randomly received like a deck of cards and saw the Joker on there and was like, oh, okay, character. there's so many different theories about it. So the fact that they're able to take one of them and, actually come up with a story and then have such a great actor, you know, be able to take the story from off the script and onto cinema is quite impressive in itself if you look at it from that standpoint. From coming from a character who has technically no real background. I mean, there's like I said, there's so many different stories of the Joker of how he came to play, whether he was part of the Red Hood gang or whether it was just he fell straight into the chemicals or whatever story you look at. None of them are consistent because it's such a different character, and the fact that he portrayed it this way and I'm not gonna lie, it was such a shocking way to see it that I think he did a fantastic job portraying this character as, not just a villain, but also as like a civilian in Gotham.
Mhm.
Good.
So
I appreciate.
Totally.
Hey, thank you. That's really good. I never looked at it from that perspective.
well, I grew up with comics, so I was very into this stuff at one point.
I mean, like I see that in the movie, and I'm like, why didn't I grow up with comics?
I know.
Anyways,
Look
we
into
are
it. Watch a video.
Yeah, I will. So we're cutting a little time with we're cutting a little short with time, so I'm just gonna pick the last one, and we're gonna skip over Star Wars. I feel like we can do that for another time because it is the trilogy, and we can't
I
really.
feel like
talk
you can
about
do
the
a whole
trilogy.
episode on just Star
That's
Wars.
gonna be
Exactly.
a whole
That's a great
episode in
idea.
itself.
And we will soon. We will soon.
Yeah, I think
Coming
what we
at you
should
soon.
do
Coming
is-
soon to YouTube.
I think what we should do is get into Captain Marvel because I mean this character in the Marvel franchise. When I think of Captain Marvel, I just got a big question mark over her. It's she's so powerful, she's so amazing, and I gotta say, a lot of people didn't like some people. I don't want to say a lot. There was a group that didn't like the Captain Marvel movie, and at first I wasn't excited about it. But then I watched it and I was like, this is actually a good movie. I do like this. I just don't understand why.
Fantastic soundtrack in that movie, by the
Oh,
way.
definitely.
Sorry,
Yeah, I forget who scored the
soundtrack.
the soundtrack, but
I'll look it up right now.
Yeah.
It's all in 80s and 90s is good. I loved it.
It was really nice. I really liked seeing this side of Nick Fury, this guy who kind of just joined S.H.I.E.L.D., he's just like, hey,
with
what's
two
up?
eyes, might I add, with two eyes. And we
eyes.
finally got the story of how he
And
lost
Agent
it.
Coulson was in there.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Without
They brought back
his
Phil.
hair.
They brought back Phil.
I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Is Captain Marvel, knowing that she's so powerful, was she necessary? Does she have is she a
For
hero
Endgame,
that
yes,
we need?
in a way.
I know, Daniel, let's go with you. You got your hand up.
I have a lot to say about this movie, so I won't take everyone all the time because I think we can definitely delve into a Marvel episode later on. But first thing is, it was Pinar Toprak who scored the film. So by the way, and yeah, that so good. But okay, answering your question, no, I do not think that she was used correctly in this time, and let me explain why. She is a big person in the comic books. I also grew up with comic books, more so with the Marvel than DC.
Yeah.
And I like the character in itself. However, I think that there's a lot of different issues, and that's why I'm saying that we can spend one episode on just Captain Marvel, which I hope we do one day. But I think the real problem is that they set up this character with so many cosmic abilities, which she does have, and they really used it for two reasons. One, because of her involvement in Endgame, and second, because of the Skrull involvement that we needed to set up the Skrull invasion later on, which was announced in December to be a Disney Plus series. It's going to be released in about 2 or 3 years, and that is from a comic series, right, Matt? Called Secret Invasion.
Yes,
Secret
there we
Invasion.
go. That's it. Yeah.
So those were the two main reasons why, and of course, there's also like bringing in Monica Rambeau, and now we're seeing her in WandaVision and all stuff like that. But I think they really underutilized the character, and it was. I mean, if you just go back and seeing it, I mean, come on, guys. I mean, where has she been all this time? And then for her just to be kind of shrug it off, or the way Marvel at least explained it was, you're not the only planet that's dealing with stuff. I think again that was just not lazy, but it was just like
that's not enough for us, because with Infinity War, the way it ended was it had that, every Marvel movie has that after scene, either leading us into another Marvel movie or giving us some insight, a little bit more insight into the movie we just watched. And what we saw was Nick Fury playing, activating the modified pager for Captain Marvel, and then it's like, oh my God, Captain Marvel movie. Then we get the Captain Marvel movie. And it's just the Captain Marvel movie was just an explanation of why was really why Nick Fury had that pager for. And it was really disappointing because in my opinion, she's so powerful. It's a great story. She gets the way she gets her powers and all that, how she fought for the Kree because she thought she was Kree. It's she does have a story behind her. And I feel like that's good. It's just she there's a hint of her in Infinity War, and then her movie ends with her arriving, being like, "Where's Fury?" And then she doesn't do anything for Endgame. She's there in the beginning, and then she leaves, and then she comes back in the end. I'm like, you got to be kidding me! You introduced this character who is supposed to be this big thing, and she just doesn't do
she was
anything.
Part of the Avengers team. I mean, I won't even get into that, but she was part of the Avengers team, and she's kind of like, I gotta go do my own thing. I'll be back. I'm like, you're kind of part of the team, aren't you?
It just didn't make sense to me. I feel like she's wasted. I feel like they wasted her, or they just because they made her. She's so OP that they couldn't use her all the way, and it's like, why do that?
I feel like they had the potential about making this a really good movie and a box office seller, I'm sure. But I feel like the way that like we all said, the way that the character was portrayed could have been a little bit differently, and that I feel like that's the only thing that they should have really done. Be honest,
it was, in my opinion, disappointing because, like I said, there's so many things in the Captain Marvel movie that doesn't really add up with the other Marvel movies. For instance, it's what was it? Okay, so in the movie Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie back in 2008, when Agent Coulson arrives and all that, and he comes in and he says he's part of the Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division. They always introduce themselves that way, and then later on they finally said just call us SHIELD. But then in the Captain Marvel movie, Captain Marvel movie, they introduce themselves as SHIELD right away. So I'm like, what the heck? Aren't you guys figuring out who you are? There's just a lot of things that just they didn't keep up with, or it just didn't add together, and that's what really disappointed me with it.
Yeah, totally.
I relate.
Anyways, I think let me check. I think that's the time right there. That is the time right there. Ooh. I feel I'm gonna admit with you guys, this is kind of nerve-wracking to be the host. Daniel, I don't know how you do this.
I think you did an amazing job.
I think you did a great job too, man.
I agree. 100%, 110%.
10 out of 10 out of 10.
10 out of
No, 12 out of 10.
12 out of 10. For
Yeah,
you.
you turned the notch up from 7 to 20. You're good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You broke the knob. You broke the knob.
Thank you to Daniel. It's like I wasn't expecting him to be like, Marco, you made it. You hosted. Okay.
I mean, I think as we kind of start wrapping it up here, now I'll let Marco wrap it up. But the important part is that we're all a team together, and there truly is no real hierarchy to this thing. So if you produced the video, if it was your idea, you produced the video, you should be the host, right? And I think that's why Chad was the host for the cast member one.
Yeah, totally.
I think he was the perfect person to host that one. I think Marco was the perfect person to host this one. So thanks, Marco. And one last thing is the German movie I was talking about. It's called The Lives of Others. So
Check
good.
it out.
Highly recommend.
Others.
The Lives of Others. All right, Marco, back to you. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up.
All
right, so
give us the outro, baby.
I wish I prepared an outro. I'm just gonna wing it. Anyway, so we reviewed Tag, Crazy Rich Asians, Joker, and Captain Marvel. There were some other movies we were supposed to review. However, we didn't really get into them. We will get into them another time. I really like movies. I really like doing this. It's always fun to not just not to throw my opinion out there, but to hear your guys' opinion. So I really appreciate this, guys. This was fun, and I can't wait to do it again.
Awesome.
Definitely. And as always, what the main theme is here and why we even talked about movies is because they're relevant in our society. And because I think what we had to say goes back to one thing and one thing only. art is a beautiful thing and it deserves to be talked about. And movies are definitely in that category of relevant art in our
No,
society.
And I wanna
Super.
leave the viewers with one thought. I want the viewers to think about just one movie, just one. Whatever one comes in your head first second. Just think about the impact that it's had on you. It doesn't have to be on everyone else. Just think about why you like it so much. And then there you go. That's the reason why you like that movie. And maybe think about how that's kind of changed your life. And I
Totally.
guarantee you'll find a reason. You'll find one.
Definitely.
Absolutely love it. Marco, take us home.
All
Do it.
right. I am home. You guys are home. We're all home.
Guess we're all home
If you're
right
not home while watching this,
I'm
hopefully you're in
coming home.
hopefully you're in a safe place. I would like to. The reason why I really wanted to do this movie review was because it's movies have really gotten me through this pandemic. So I feel like, and especially these movies, because the ones that I've seen at least, and the ones I want to see. So it's it gives us a purpose. It gives us inspiration as well, and it also kind of makes us feel good. It's like, oh, I know what I'm talking about when we say this. But I feel like we're all movie people here. We're all Disney, Marvel people here, and we all appreciate the film industry because it's something we all would like to participate if we could.
Right.
And I feel like we all share that. So handing you off to Chad, say your goodbye. I'm off, guys. See you. I'm gonna go that way now.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for watching and listening to this movie review of these Marvel movies, all the movies we talked about earlier. And if you guys have any of your thoughts on the movies we talked about, leave them down in the comments below because we love to hear what you guys have to say as well. So with that, I'm gonna hand it off to Matt.
Hello?
Hello,
Matt.
Matt.
Hello?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Where'd you go, buddy?
Do a closing thought.
My closing thought is, guys, think about that one movie. Think about how it's impacted you. I guarantee you, you will find a reason. I can come up with millions for mine. And that's my closing thought.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you
Beautiful.
again for watching this episode, this YouTube exclusive of The Intelligent World. Be sure to subscribe, leave your comments in the comment section, and go listen to all the other content we have wherever you listen to your podcasts, on YouTube, and of course on Chapman Radio for our radio shows. Thank you so much for listening to this very special episode of The Intelligent World.
Ciao.